All right, so this is just a little experiment that I'm putting together. I'm not sure if I'll, turn it into a full series or not, but I had a hankering to make a podcast, to make something, and I haven't really. I've watched a bunch of movies lately, but I haven't done anything substantial. So I don't know if I'm still working on a book review. I don't know if I'll even finish it within a reasonable time frame or anything. I don't have a regular upload schedule on this channel, as you may or may not know if you're one of the 14 people who subscribe. I had 15, and I think I hadn't uploaded in so long. I think someone remembered that they subscribed to me, and they saw that there was a new video, and they were probably just confused and didn't know, where it was coming from, and then just unfollowed. Which I don't blame them, but yeah, it's been a while, and I'm pretty rusty and pretty uncomfortable with the whole recording myself thing. So it's gonna take a while. If I do make a habit of it, it's gonna take a while to get back into it. So it should be interesting. Hold on, I gotta turn my. I don't know if the audio. I don't know if the microphone is capturing the vibrations of the controller that I'm using. I'm playing Xbox 360 right now, playing a little bit of Black Ops 2, just to kind of get myself in the mood. I can't really record unless I'm doing something else. Just a little too, like, I don't know. I'm the fucking neurotic, but I just don't like. I like the privacy. I don't know, or know what? I don't know. I don't even know what I'm talking about. We're just gonna wing it. Where I'm just my whole approach to this is just gonna be, I'm just gonna talk until I'm good at it. That's my whole plan with this. It's my whole approach. The TV's really far away, and I have awful eyesight because I'm on my computer all the time. So I don't even think I can turn it off. But I'm trying to just turn off the vibration so it doesn't bother me. But I don't know. I might have to do that somewhere else. But yeah, that kind of sucks. Okay. Oh well. I hope that doesn't stick to the back of my mind the entire time I'm doing this. But no one wants to hear about you talking about doing the thing. They kind of want to just hear about you talking. Just yeah. It doesn't always have to be like this meta thing where you just talk about doing the thing and it's not interesting to anybody other than yourself. It's not even really interesting to you. But yeah, I'm talking so low because I'm a college undergrad, and I'm 24 years old, and I still have to worry about what other people think about me because I live in the fucking dorms, and like everyone around me is like 18 or whatever, and they're all a bunch of fucking pricks. Like they act like high school students. They're actually worse than the kids I went to high school with because they're all 5 years older, and society has fallen by 5 years more worth of whatever degeneracy and everything, brain rot. So everyone's a piece of shit. Being a Zoomer is not great. It's not a great generation. I would say that every generation has its problems, but they're like really kind of like insane. It's a lot of like crazy people. I would say that this is like the mentally ill generation, probably the most mentally ill generation, and they're also just it's like that meme. I mean, they really are like they're like lizard people. They're turning into like it's like everyone's a sociopath now in order to survive in this new techno dystopia that we're a part of. It's not great. It's not great. No one can be. The thing I've noticed the most is that you can't really be as a Zoomer. You're not allowed to have emotions, and you're not allowed to be different. It's a very like it's a very I kind of like the pendulum swung so far the other way because of all the woke shit and all the cringe that the millennials did. It created this situation where now a lot of Zoomers are either they either just mimic that, they either just copy what they do like a bad copy of what the millennials do, or they just nothing wrong with I don't really personally have a problem with I don't want to get into it, actually. Never mind. I don't feel like the first episode. I don't feel like taking the hot takes right away or whatever. But yeah, because I really don't care about politics. At the end of the day, I do think in principle it's good to have values. It's good to have stances. It's good to have things you believe in. But I don't think that the thing with me is that I don't think those things are important enough to. I don't think they matter enough to warrant you know a whole thing. I wasn't going to say anything bad, but I will just say that, Gen Z is really gay for some reason, and I do personally think it's performative, and I don't like having to be so careful about that because I think it's kind of just a true, it's like when I'm talking about it in terms of like a media thing, in terms of like a trendy type of thing, but I think that for whatever reason, one way that like a lot of Zoomers choose to kind of take back maybe it's a way for them to take back their autonomy from what they perceive to be a society that doesn't really have a place for them anymore. All the talking points of like you're never going to own a house as a Zoomer because the real estate market's so fucked up from the recession, 2008 crash and everything, still having aftershocks today. Not being able to own a house, not being able to get jobs because so many jobs require previous experience. So you're gonna be this Zoomer who's like working at working retail for the rest of their life, and I don't know. That's kind of that whole like modern sense of, I don't know, hopelessness or nihilism or whatever. Just like that feeling of having nothing to look forward to. I think a lot of Zoomers feel that, but I also think that they are like. I think they're very they're definitely not well socialized, and they're definitely stunted in a lot of ways. And I would say, like, the impression I get, at least from the school I go to. I mean, I don't know. I'm sure it's different everywhere. I've been to a lot of different places too. This is the fucking third school I've been to. Transferred twice because I'm a fucking because I don't take anything seriously, and I don't even really want to go to college at all. And I don't know what I would do instead, but I'm one of these people. It's like I really kind of need to figure it out because all I can think to do is pull a Kerouac and like just like bum it, across the country. You just be like a total loser. There's no room for that like hoboing left in today's world. I don't know. Everyone's too connected. It's like you can't really get off the grid. You'd last like a week, and then you'd probably need to get a job or at some point, and you wouldn't be able to get one because you don't have a phone, have a permanent address. It just wouldn't work. Wouldn't work out. I think the closest thing to that kind of like, and it's not at all, but the closest thing to that kind of rebelliousness in this day and age, if you don't have parents who are loaded, if you don't have the resources available to you, the best you can do is probably like join the military or something, but that sucks. And that's also the opposite of rebellion because you're pledging yourself, you're kind of giving yourself away to them. I mean, that's like, so it really, I think at this point it's like things have gotten so topsy-turvy that it's like the ultimate form of rebellion these days is either joining the military or getting like really religious and like joining some kind of like weird religion where I don't know, you can like basically freeload as long as you play along with whatever. Like if you want to be like I don't know, maybe you go to like divinity school or something and you don't even care. You don't even want to, like, if you're Catholic or whatever you want. Let's just say that because I am. So that's the example I'm going to use. But you want to be a priest, and you say you want to be a priest, and you go through all the training and you do all the shit, but you're really just there to kind of you're there to just like get the free ride. The writer Charles Bukowski wrote a line about that in one of my favorite books of all time, Ham on Rye. He wrote that he could see himself just being a priest, just so he could get drunk off communion wine all day. I know it's loser shit. I know it's a loser mentality, but that's totally what I want to do. I don't even care. I'm going to be unapologetic about how fucking lazy I am. I mean, you've seen the name of the tentative title of the podcast. I mean, that kind of aptly describes where I'm at in life right now. Kind of always been, though. I've always been kind of a lazy fuck. Always been a homebody. Always been I guess I don't even like the term introvert. You know, I don't like the gamification of, you know, I don't know, classifying people's personalities, distilling them into archetypes. I think they're important, but that one's kind of a corny one. I don't know, that whole distinction. But I probably definitely am an introvert. But I'm also an only child, and I've also moved around a lot, so I don't really even have a hometown or anything. So I think I'm kind of a weird case anyway. I'm also, I'm also half white, half something else. I'm not gonna give away too many personal details. Not that I'm super important or anything, or that, you know, whatever. But I just, you know, I like to. It's not even, I don't know, it's not even like super a privacy thing. I just don't feel like getting into it. But yeah, I'm all kinds of things though. Yeah, I'm mixed race, so I think that kind of gives me free reign to do whatever I want almost. If we're gonna play by those rules, you know, if we're gonna be in this fucking like stupid. I mean, I think it's kind of over. You know, I think the woke shit's over. I think whatever's coming up now is gonna be more of like because I try to be objective about things. I try not to lean too far on one side of the political aisle or the other. So I think the new problem's going to be more. I think the new problem's going to be more kind of conservative, if anything. And I've kind of seen it. I've seen little hints of like this rampant. I wouldn't even call it conservatism. I would just call it anti-liberalism or anti-like wokeism. But it is this new thing where it's like a virulent, like, oh shit, people are like kind of being racist again. You know, people are kind of genuinely like they're kind of getting like angry. You know, in like that kind of scary old-fashioned way that I barely was ever, you know, old enough to be cognizant of, you know. But you get a little bit of that. It's like, oh, this is kind of like there's a little bit of that 2005 like high school bully, like Bush era conservatism you get, so like culture, like social conservatism, like cultural conservatism that crops up. It peaks in, you know, every once in a while. You get a conversation. You'll overhear a conversation. It's like, oh, okay, we're doing that again. You know, interesting. It's interesting to me. I don't know if it's good or not. It doesn't seem good. I mean, I think politically incorrect humor is funny. You know, being a loser that I am, I like a lot of like edgy comedy and stuff. So, yeah, but I like it to be humorous. I like it to at least be funny. When it gets a little too real, it actually does make me uncomfortable. As much as I like to be edgy and like pretend like, you know, oh, I'm cool, you know, I'm like this cool, whatever. Yeah, it doesn't quite pan out that way. I don't quite like the real shit, you know. I don't like when people get too ignorant, when they get too biased. It becomes a problem. And my prediction for the rest of the 2020s anyway, we'll just stick to a single decade to be safe, but I do think that as it goes on, we are going to see a lot more of that kind of. It's going to be anti-woke, you know. That's going to be the new problem. I haven't decided. Yeah, it's going to be. It's like if woke shit was annoying, then the anti-woke shit's going to be annoying too, and it's just that's what's going to play out from like. Well, we're in 2025 right now. I think it's going to heat up because every decade seems to heat up by like the sixth or seventh year, because the first year counts. So like 2010 was the first year of the 2010s decade. 2016 was, if I'm doing my math correctly, I've never been a big math guy. I'm, you know, kind of lazy. I literally just won't do the calculations in my head properly. Just don't feel like it. Like I can feel how to do it, and I just won't do it the right way. But if I am doing my math correctly, then like 2016 was the seventh year of the 2010s decade, because 2010 was the first year, even though, you know, I don't know. It's just the numbering. That's how it works. It's like how the 19th century was not the 1900s, it was the 1800s. You know, it's like how the 21st century, we're not in the year 2125, we're in the year 2025. But anyway, it kind of comes down to this thing where, God damn, I hate losing my train of thought. The nerves. I don't feel the nerves as much though, but I'm also not quite like facing the beast. I'm kind of, you know, I am playing video games. I am like trying to avoid it as much as possible. I'm a very avoidant person as well. You'll come to find that if we continue these over the course of these episodes. Um, I'm thinking structure-wise, I'll do 20 minutes at a time, and I might record I might do, for all I know, I could do a 3-hour recording session, but I'll just make each episode 20 minutes because I think that would be better for ease of listening, and I have no idea what these are going to manifest themselves as. I have a little list of topics, but I'm winging most of it because I just want to work on that. I want to build up that skill of kind of stream of consciousness, improvisational, whatever, even if it's not great, and even if I spend most of the time just talking about the process of doing it, which is, again, the worst thing you can do. That is it is such a rookie mistake. I gotta get it all out of my system now within these 20 minutes, so that the next one's not, the next one's more focused. But this is good. This is like a miscellaneous type thing too. But my train of thought, where the hell did it go? Let's try to get back into that. Let's shake off the cobwebs. Let's get the nerves out of the system. Let's get these cringy episodes done. So by the time you hit like episode 20, it'll be halfway listenable. I just know. I'm just acknowledging that I know. I'm painfully self-aware. That's another one of my problems. It's another thing that keeps me back in life is, I just know too much about everything. I know too much about myself most of all, though, and I'm kind of obsessed with myself. But it's because of this culture that we're in now, where it's this pain. Everyone's painfully self-conscious because everyone's an overgrown high schooler. It's like the Zoomers are turning. They're very much like they've proven. They haven't indicated anything they haven't evidenced anything to the contrary, that they peaked in high school and that they're basically going to be overgrown adolescents. That's their generational personality trait. Whereas the millennials peaked in college, and so they're a bunch of insufferable, pretentious, like hipster douchebags. They peaked. They peaked when they went to their first I don't know, Mumford and Sons concert in like 2014 or whatever. They just haven't let go of that shit. 2013 maybe, I don't know, but that's their problem. The millennials peaked in college. The Zoomers seem like they've peaked in high school, and they're gonna be just they're gonna have that prickish, just that lame ass, like, fucking insecure, conformist, fucking normie bullshit attitude for the rest of their lives, most likely. They're going to be socially conservative in that regard. They're going to be like, even if they are liberal, again, the closest thing you get to that, it's like, if you're a Zoomer, you either just copy what the millennials do in a bad way, and the millennials like are lame, and they're really annoying. I mean, they're the reason why everything is swung this direction, I feel. Maybe it's the politicians and the elites that did all of that for real, but just in like the pop culture sense of things and the pop culture understanding of things, it's like blatantly obvious to me that the fucking millennials just couldn't help themselves. They hate the boomers so much that they are just like, they're like worse because they're younger and they're more, they're around more, so they're just going to perpetuate. I know words. I am a reader. I'm just, I can't, I don't know. I'm just not used to doing this. Just painfully out of the habit of recording myself talking. But yeah, it's just this thing where they hate the fucking boomers so goddamn much that they're going to become a worse version of them and then take it out on the Zoomers and the Gen Alpha or whatever, and they're gonna all just be completely fucked. Like, they're just going to be uber autistic, fucking, like, can't even function in society. It's like all this. Zoomers are fucking weird. I mean, they're all disabled and fucking autistic and just like gay. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but it's like a thing I've noticed. It's just a thing. They're all these like they and I think it's like this performative like agency kind of like, I got to take back my life because society has let me down so much. It's this weird existential thing. In general, it's just a thing, and I would know because I have to be around people like that all the time, Not that I fucking, out of all of them, I think the normies are the worst, though. There's no one I dislike more than a fucking dude bro, fucking jock, whatever it is. Because they're not even really jocks. They're just fucking upper middle class. They're like slightly richer than middle class. They're just upper middle class fucking douchey white kids. Like, those are the worst people to me. So, you know, don't get it twisted. But yeah, I mean, oh, we're hitting 20 minutes. Okay, I'll be back.